Brian, good
What's up?
morning.
Morning.
How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we're just going to rock and roll, have a fun conversation, talk about all things Brian Goodwin, the city of Louisville, development, entrepreneurship. Let's kick it off with what you're working on right now. What are you focused on? What's rocking?
Right now, I'm transitioning a little bit from, back and forth from bar, restaurant world, real estate world. It's always the line I'm kind of dancing on. But we just opened High Horse Bar, which we moved from here in Butchertown around the corner on Market Street. Closed in the end of the year, 2024. Opened 2 weeks ago, maybe. Going good. And right before that, we kind of had a pop-up opportunity to reopen Jimmy Can't Dance, which was actually the first bar that my bar restaurant group, that's where it all started, which was in an old building I owned on 7th Street. We opened it underneath another place, Sandwich Shop, which was my family's business since the 70s. And those were going at the same time, both death of COVID. So gone in 2021. And then through some partners that I've started working with, we got an opportunity to open it in the back of Hotel Genevieve, also on Market Street. So in the past 6 months or so, we've kind of gotten those two bars up and going. And now I'm transitioning more to the development side, separate groups, lots of different confusing groups and entities. But we're doing a restaurant mixed-use development on Goss in the old, most Louisvillians would probably call it the Eiderdown building, but it was most recently Redbud. We got that. We got the little house next door, which will come down. And Ming Pu, who is a fantastic chef who I've been trying to work with for 6 years, is finally going to put his restaurant Tana in that building, gearing up to start construction, finished with all the pre-development. That one's getting ready to go. And then you come around the corner onto Logan, same development group, which we can talk about. We got, I think it's 10 or 12,000 square feet there, a couple different buildings. And that one we're going to be bringing in my bar group. We're going to be doing a cocktail bar in the back, and then probably some sort of restaurant, food and bev, retail up front. So those will be two probably year-ish development projects that I'm getting ready to dig into, transitioning out of bar, but one of them also has a bar in it. So
I love it.
It's all kind of scattered right now.
Hey, it's a fluid process.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
So let's jump back to 7th Street. This is 2019, 2020 when these operations are going on 7th, and where on 7th Street?
So that's when they kind of were peaking / going into COVID ending. I think they started probably 2017. So I was living in New York with my now wife, Lauren. My dad passed away in 2015, which is I've been around real estate my whole life because that's what he did. But when he passed away, I had to jump in to the business more seriously. And the Sandwich Shop was going since 1971 on 7th Street, in between Main and Market, right across from 21C. Nice location. At that time, pre-COVID, downtown was going up.
That's what I was wanted to preface. So
yeah,
tell me more about that. Like, it was downtown 2019.
It was exciting. I mean, I wasn't living here, but I was managing properties here. I had my finger on the pulse for sure, and it seemed like downtown was very much moving with momentum. People were excited to hang out downtown. Businesses were open. The bourbon thing was rolling. Because we hadn't started anything yet, but I was excited to get into being an operator in downtown Louisville, which was cool. And I tapped Denny Humphrey, who owned the Monkey Wrench back in the day, which is a bar I grew up going to.
Staple, a city staple.
He's like, OG bar owner, knows the business
I know,
naturally.
great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had moved from New York to Texas. I wanted to be more involved with the sandwich shop because the group that was running it, when my mom worked there my whole life, my dad was kind of running it. They were both gone. The group was kind of finishing up. And so I was like, I either got to close this thing or find someone to manage it or manage it myself or whatever. So my two good friends who were living in the time in Portland, Oregon, all of us from Louisville, they had worked their way across the country, chefing, butchering, baking, working on farms. They had done every part of the industry. They had worked for Ed Lee here. I called them, was like, who can run this thing? They were like, we'll think about it, tell you who we think would be good. They called me back. They're like, we'd like to do it. We'll move back to Louisville. It's like, that's great. So they took on the restaurant side. I tapped Denny to do the bar, which we had to build underneath. And then Lauren and I were living in Texas, and we were like, we want to be part of this. So we moved back to Louisville, bought a house here in Butchertown. So that was 2017. So got it up and running. I think it was well received. It was popular. It felt good, like downtown. There were like locals. I mean, tourists too, which across the street from 21C, but there were a lot of locals, in my opinion, that were like excited to come hang out downtown.
There was a good energy going.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you got a great speaking voice, a lot of bass, but let's get that mic a little bit closer, like a fist away.
We good?
I think so.
That's better.
A little bit more.
How's that?
We're good.
Good?
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Just want to make sure we hear all your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry for interrupting.
No.
So 2015, and prior to that, you're in New York City.
Yep.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about that. The transition, grew up in Louisville. Dad was a real estate guy. What took you to New York?
A girl. I had met Lauren actually in Mexico, but she was living in New York. I went up there to be with her and was not doing anything. Well, my dad had just passed away, so I was managing properties here, trying to understand the business, but it was more or less running itself, at least the small part of it that was going at that time. So I was able to do it remotely. I had an apartment here. I could come back when I needed to. But I was interning in New York for a group called Vector, which was a music company. And I was preparing to probably go to business music school at NYU. Had taken all those meetings. I was still like finishing up my trajectory in the music business, where I ended up working in Austin too after we left.
That's that transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I real estate was kind of just going to be like, well, I really didn't know. It was brand new, but like I was like, I can manage these properties and still do my music thing, and it'll be fine.
Because when you have triple net leases, good solid tenants, it's a lot easier than managing, say, a residential portfolio or an Airbnb portfolio.
Yeah, in theory.
Yeah,
in theory.
In theory.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time. That's what I thought for sure, but I didn't know enough to know whether it was actually stabilized, whether the tenants were good.
What's the WALT? What's the
what the leases even really meant. I mean, I was figuring it out for at least 2 or 3 years while we were moving around the country. And then when we got to Texas, I was working at another music company, and we decided to do the jazz club underneath the sandwich shop. And that's when I kind of was like, well, not only do I want to be part of this and figure out what it's like to be a business operator, I also probably need to like dive all the way into this real estate thing, which I liked. I mean, I grew up with it, like I said, and I knew I liked it, but I was not ready to give up music until then.
Yeah. So it sounds like the trajectory, you were still figuring it out in the music space, but you were going more into the business side of the industry.
Yeah, I think that was the goal. I had been a musician and played in bands, and then I got more into the production side. But my degree is a business degree, and I like that stuff too. And, the business side of music was where I wanted to end up for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're a musician and you have the business knowledge, that's a great way to go about it as well, right?
Yeah, it's a nice contingency. I mean, everybody wants to be the musician.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Can't always make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any applicable skills that you learned, as a musician or during that time that you were able, like crossover, that you were able to apply to either the creative aspect of being a real estate developer, redeveloper, so on and so forth?
It's a good question. Yes, I think so. I played in, a couple different bands. Music is hard. It's like trying to be an actor or something, I assume. So like lots of failures. Like they weren't failures to me. I learned a lot and got to play a lot of music, but like I was never in a, quote unquote successful band. So learning how to get your heart broken and fail a lot, I think is probably pretty applicable to real estate and certainly applicable to operating startup businesses, because if you can like shake off that fear of failure, it's probably a pretty good base to have for opening, independent businesses.
Yeah. Because you have no idea. I mean, you can look at the demographics and you can have proof of concept, but like you don't know when you open Jimmy Can't Dance is, you reopen it. Are we going to have butts and seats, right? Are people going to, you're taking it's always a risk.
You never know, especially with bars and restaurants. Like people are like, what's the business plan? And it's like, well, yeah, we have a business plan, but like, that's a guess. I mean, are people going to show up? Is it really going to take hold? Is the city going to like it? It could be the best. I mean, I think we see that in Louisville often, like without naming specific examples. I can think of many concepts where I'm like, that's perfect. I love it. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't take hold, doesn't take hold in time. There's so many variables to a business actually being able to hold on the patron side, on the back end. Like the stars have to align. So yeah, I'd say that's like the most relevant thing. And Jimmy's specifically, COVID was a big factor for a lot of people, but still it was heartbreaking to close it because it wasn't doing bad. I mean, we just had to make a decision, and it brought back all the same feelings of like, wrapping up a band or whatever. It's hard to walk away, but like, in my opinion, knowing when to walk away is a pretty crucial skill to have.
I think that's Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, and you could probably name 1,000 other names, but it's like know when you're on a sinking ship, essentially. And I'm not saying that was a sink, but yeah, know when to cut your losses, right? That's a skill.
Yeah, it is. And like, I think if we would have drug it out and, when we walked away from that specific business, it was still pretty well liked and like everyone was happy. We hadn't started fighting. Like if that ship would have sunk further, it could have messed up that ownership group, which would have stopped us from doing more businesses, or maybe it would have lost some reputation and Hotel Genevieve wouldn't have wanted us to bring it back, So I think ending things at the right time in some cases allows more opportunity.
Connect the dots looking backwards.
Yeah, no doubt.
So stark differences between, Louisville, downtown, Nulu today, and kind of when we were on that, because I was also in New York in 2019.
Yeah. Where were you?
Long story, started out Bushwick, Bed-Stuy. I think we might have talked about this.
Yeah,
in the
my
park.
wife lived in Bushwick.
Deep, 16 stops off the J train.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Washington Heights.
Nice.
Right under the Bronx. And then I finally made it to the city, and then COVID hit. So I moved back home. But 2019, I wasn't here. And I wasn't in the real estate business yet. But as you say, it's like things, and I hear this over and over, things were rocking. So are we, from your perspective, being in the world on the day-to-day and bringing new things to the city, are we on the ramp again to ramp up? Do we have the same energy, or is it going to take a lot more elbow grease from guys like you in the city to get us back there?
I don't know. I'm not at all qualified to answer that, but it seems to me, just from like a vibe check, we're on the ramp again. I mean, we used to live right here, and obviously Nulu has the energy. I mean, it is moving quickly, development wise, business wise, tourism wise. I mean, it feels good. If you want to feel like you're living in a bigger city, you know, this side of Butchertown, Nulu, that's the place to do it. You walk out, go to the coffee shop, there's people buzzing around. We just moved to the Highlands, which is great. It's a good energy too, but it's a different energy. It doesn't feel the same. So I think Nulu specifically is really moving quickly. But downtown, I mean, we would walk down there. I'm down there driving a lot. There's a lot of people walking around. I mean,
Thursday, Friday afternoon, like even in daytime,
yeah,
right? During the week, in season is like doing great. You know, restaurant,
amazing restaurant.
so good.
I went to grade school with Daniel. Like that
Yeah.
place is incredible. And our downtown is awesome. Like I think, again, I am by no means qualified to answer, but like it seems
What
like
makes
people.
you say that?
I don't know. I'm not like a data guy.
It
You know,
doesn't
like
matter. It's a vibe, feeling, gut feeling. I'm a
Sure.
you're a gut feeling guy.
Okay, just want to put that in context.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
all right.
from a gut feeling, it seems like maybe there's a little bit of some sort of gap between how people that grew up in Louisville and live here feel about it versus like how people are coming in. Because I think people come in and they're like, this downtown's amazing. Like it's historic. It's beautiful. There's people walking around. It's got the bourbon thing. Like I think it's pretty great. And like it's important to have a thriving downtown. But I think people here, you know, can really sit on a feeling for longer than necessary. So maybe like the pullback we had because of COVID, which everyone had, people still in their head are recognizing, oh, our downtown, you know, and like
It's a culture thing, kind of. I
Little
think it was Mark Twain that said, "If the world ends, I'd like to be in Kentucky because everything happens 20 years behind."
yeah, there's seemingly some real truth to that.
Yeah.
And I mean, downtown has, you know, it's you know, hurdles that we need to get over after, but like I don't think it's as bad as maybe some people have in their head. Like when I'm down there, it seems like people are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I like being down there. So
Go to I was just in Toronto, right? Incredible growth, but then you got the traffic.
yeah, Austin
you know,
too is like that.
Yeah, and New York City.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
But in Austin or in Toronto, any major city, I'd say around the world, maybe not so much in Europe, but there's so many different types of people in a small area. It's like you're going to get it all.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get homelessness, drug addiction. So it's not like this is a unique thing to Louisville. But I do agree. It's like people kind of have this stigma of like, oh, it's unsafe. And so all that we need from St. Matthews East, we need those people to get behind. That's where our money is.
Yeah.
Right? We need those people to get behind the city of Louisville and connect it.
Yeah.
I want to be an optimist on this show. I don't want to go pessimistic and dive into the history, you know, back into the 1800s of like kind of what started that cultural thing in Louisville.
Yeah.
But as a real estate entrepreneur, developer, owner, what are the best things about being in Louisville, Kentucky, and running your company here? And then kind of what are some of the pros or the cons, on the development side? Is it hard to get things done, so on and so? So just kind of touch on that, you know, what that's like.
Sure. So I mean, it's a broad question because I think there's probably different answers for the operating side versus the development side. But to kind of like zip it up, I think
Let's focus on the development side because I understand the operational piece is separate.
Sure. So, I mean, I'm not doing huge projects, so I think there's probably some real difference when you get into like big boy projects.
But build a 350 unit apartment building in St. Matthews.
Yeah, like we're doing kind of like old buildings, small, fixing them up, you know, adding value with tenants or redevelopment or whatever. But like the pros, there's a lot of stock. I mean, I think there are some amazing buildings here that aren't being used at all or are being underutilized. You know, it used to be, I think, not only were there a lot of buildings, but they all kind of penciled out and you could really kind of choose what you wanted to do. That's getting, in my opinion, slimmer and slimmer. Like it's harder to find deals that are great building, great location, all the math works, easy to fill. You know, like that's getting a little harder, but I think in general, if you're creative and you're motivated, you can find a great property and put a great idea in it. Like it's still accessible, whereas like Austin or Nashville or obviously New York, like you can't even find, and the deals just don't, they're not there. So I think that's cool. According to Mark Twain, I think it's good because we tend to trend a little bit behind some other cities, mid-size and bigger. Like you don't have to get too outside the box to find something that's going to work. Like you can see something in, name 10 cities and be like, oh, that would be a really good fit for Louisville. I think Louisville is at a great growth spot where like we still need a lot of stuff. So if you're a serious operator or developer and you want to do something, I think Louisville has the room to put that in and people be excited about it, which I think is not always the case in other cities. Like, well, that's already done 10 times.
Yep. There's a lot, there's a lot of things that don't yet have proof of concept here.
For sure.
It's who said you have to give people what they want before they know they even want it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a lot of room to run in that specific space. And, you know, we're doing that. You know, we're not on the operating side with these bars and restaurants. We're not like making them up. We're seeing inspiration in other cities. And it's like, oh, this would be great in Louisville. I think people would like this. And we're imitating what they're doing and it's either works or it doesn't. But I think that's the pro. The cons, I think people, well, development-wise, I think people are a little hesitant of change.
NIMBYism.
Yeah, some of that. And some just, like, don't rock the boat, but, like, we kind of need to we need some new stuff. And people are just like, wait, what's going on over there? People in Louisville have a lot of opinions, myself included, especially if you grew up here and have a lot of pride in your city and you don't want certain things happening or whatever. But, like, I think mostly if people are responsible and willing to do the right thing, change is good. Like we need some new stuff. We need to keep up with the pace of the rest of the country and trends as they go. But I do think people are a little, it seems like the gut answer a lot of times is no, and then talk your way back into a yes, where some other places are more like,
hey, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, like let's figure out how to make this work, not like let's start from a position of no and then slowly get to yes. It's like let's start from a position of yes, but how are we going to do it the right way?
Let's keep going back to culture, right?
Yeah.
Culture.
Yeah.
And it's like what is the catalyst, right? To kind of get, I think you said this to me, you're like, man, there's a lot of older guys and gals out here that have the resources and tons of business experience, but they're 60, 70, 80, and they want to do cool shit.
Yeah.
But they're out of touch with the marketplace, right? So how do we bridge that gap? Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Older people have worked longer, they have more money. I mean, that's not always the case, but I think, especially in my position, one of my business partners, who was my dad's business partner, is in his 70s, and he doesn't try to pretend to be in touch. He's hands off. He knows his lane. Like he has cash, he has good business sense, but he trusts me in this case, because we're partners, to bring the right tenant, do the right thing for the neighborhood, do the right thing for
and get the inspiration and whip up ideas and drive it, right?
Yeah.
Drive the train.
Yeah, because like I think they're, and becoming more and more young people here like yourself that are hungry, want to work, have good ideas, have seen the world, or at least the country, and, know what Louisville needs, right? We all live here. We want a city that we can be proud of, which we are. But like, we want to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And not always young people have the money to do it. It's like we need that connection of the cash with the culture. And I'm not saying it's not here. I think it is. But like that's
it's happening in the arts. I see it a lot happening in the arts space with fashion shows and art galleries, things like that.
Yeah, and I think flipping a little bit, it's all the same, right? But flipping more from development to the operator side is like what I see, in my opinion. Again, I'm no expert, but like there might be a little bit of like an operator shortage. And I'm not sure it's an actual operator shortage. It's probably just a resource shortage. Like, there's still empty buildings in Nulu, which there shouldn't be. I mean, if you do a good concept in Nulu, you're going to make money. It's going to be successful, most likely. And, some other neighborhoods I'd put in that category as well. So, like, I think there's probably a lot of, well, I know it from trying to lease buildings. There's a lot of young people out there, chefs, bar operators, retail operators with great ideas and, want to get serious. They don't have the money. So, I think there's some work to be done on how do we bridge that gap a little bit, because what we need, in my opinion, are quality operators filling these spaces. We just moved to the Highlands. I think that's a great example. Like, Bardstown Road's iconic, and it does have a lot of great operators, but it also has a lot of buildings that turn over and over and over. And it's like, I know as a resident, I grew up there, but also now coming back and like hearing the chatter, like people just want good businesses that they can walk up to. And again, Louisville can get stuck in the like, well, a little bit of a pessimistic attitude. And when you see a building turn over 6 times in 2 years or whatever, it's like, well, what's going on?
Kind of stigmatized,
so
to speak.
And I think about that a lot. Like, is it an actual operator shortage? Like, do we not have enough people that are willing to be serious operators, or they just don't have the resources to actually get it started? Because it's not easy to start a business, from the financial side to permitting, getting through that whole process, getting the doors open. By the time you open a business, you feel like you've gone to war and back, and then you actually have to start running your business. So that's not easy.
Battle after battle after battle, and the war's never over, right?
No, by the time it feels like it's over, it's actually just beginning.
100%.
And we've done a lot of them, and it's still, every time it feels a little, well, what's this problem? Like, it's not, even after you do a bunch, it's not like it's clockwork. I mean, every situation is a little unique. So I don't know the answer to that. And I don't even know if it's different in other cities, but it'd be very cool if there was operator assistance from and I think we have this stuff, but like more clear to people, because I can't tell you how many potential tenants I've gone through that are just kind of like motivated, great idea, not quite sure how to get the funding secured and get through the process from I have an idea to I'm opening my doors.
Well, we'll draft up our incubator idea on a napkin after the podcast. So, all right, we got the operator piece, we got the resources piece. You have a ton of experience in the restaurant and bar world on the real estate side. I know you're not specifically the operator, you have been. But then you've got the staffing piece, what really like cranks the ship and makes it run, right? Talk a little bit about that. Like, turnover, is it operator, and then, finding the quality people that when a guest comes into your restaurant or your bar, they're excited, they're smiling, they're giving good energy, they're giving good service. I mean, how difficult is that piece for bar and restaurant operators?
That's a very real question. I'm not super involved, I want to be honest, on the staffing side, but I'm not involved, but I obviously know at our businesses what our staff is like, and we have been extremely lucky in that we have not turned over staff a lot. We have a very great, loyal staff at each one of our places. We've kind of streamlined our structure as we've grown, and I think we've done a good job of being ahead of that and being good to our employees with health insurance, good pay, all the stuff. And like, it has been easier than we thought it would be to kind of keep a good group together. But I hear over and over and over through our group, tenants, talk around town, that staffing is very, very difficult in Louisville. multiple people that have cited it for the reason of closing. I don't know why that is. And you can kind of see it. I mean, you go to Chicago for the weekend and like you walk into a restaurant and those people are extremely serious. Like that is their career, hospitality. You can feel it.
The
like,
bar manager, the sommelier,
yeah. And it maybe feels a little behind here. Like, you know, everything else can be. But it feels like it's changing a little bit. I think a lot of the younger faces that are moving to Louisville for cost of living, cool city, all the reasons, you know, people in their 20s or whatever age it is are moving to Louisville. A lot of those people I think are, or some of them are service industry people. And I think like getting new faces in, people that are taking the industry more seriously, want that feel like you'd have in Chicago or a bigger city is good. I mean, and I think it's like people that are here will follow that lead. You know, I think as the industry is growing and getting more serious, the staffing side will get more serious as well because it has to. Again, I don't handle much of that, but I do hear that it can be difficult in Louisville, but it does seem like it's getting better.
It's not as simple as take care of your people and they'll take care of you. It's more of a complex thing.
Yeah, you got to be you got to really, I mean, it's not, you can't just, well, we need to fill a position, first application. All right, start working. I mean, you got to like, you know, interview people and find the right fit for your business and all that stuff. And it's not easy because those are hard jobs. And yeah, I think it's tough. What do you think? When you go out to a restaurant in Louisville, do you feel like it's moving in a direction that's more accommodating, serious, all that stuff? Or
I think it's case by case. I recently had one of the most incredible dining experiences of my life. And like you, I've eaten all over the world at Enzo.
Yeah.
So Chef Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I sat at the bar. Shout out Enzo, by the way. I sat at the bar at the end, a friend and I, and chef that's under Lawrence. I don't know what his title is, so I'm not going to call him a sous chef.
Yeah.
But incredible guy. And he's plating the dish. I mean, from the moment we walked in the door, right, the ladies up front, the hostess, kind, smiling, everybody's upbeat, good energy. So like the culture of the place, the energy of the place, I noticed that immediately when I walked in. The vibe, the atmosphere, the decor, all wonderful. But sitting at the end on the bar manager is a guy from Miami. So he's got 20 years of experience in South Florida, in the Miami area. Incredible at his craft, and like everything just hit right. And I think so it's just a little bit more about that experience. On the end, I start talking to the guy, and he's making recommendations. You get to watch him make and plate everything. So it's a unique dining experience. And then he'll slide you dishes, throughout the dinner that you didn't order. It was wonderful. And I think being consistent with that. How do you do that day in, day out for years? And if you can do that, then you've got something special. And is that on leadership, right? And then you go to other places and it's like, man, like, does this person even want me at the bar? Like,
yeah.
Or, a new place opens there. I won't say a name here, but like, it's been very frustrating because it's like, hey, I'm paying $18 for a cocktail, $60 for a steak, but I've got to wait 10, 15 minutes before I even get a water in front of me. It's like, that puts a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if I want to come back here. It's this way every time. So I don't think it's an easy thing to accomplish. I think finding people who care at all levels is the hard part because no one's going to care like you do, right? Being the owner.
Sure.
And then next down would be the operator of the business.
Sure.
So how do you find those people? And not to get macro and Phyllis, but I think COVID was kind of a big shift in human psychology and behavior, the way people kind of think about their lives and the world. It kind of shook things up a little bit and brought some stuff to the surface and like it festered. And I just think that there were probably good things that come out of that, but I recognize patterns and behavior in people where things are a little more disconnected. People seem to care a little less.
Sure. I think a lot of people also exited the industry during COVID. I mean, it was a nice turning of the page to say, well, I've done this for however many years, I'm going to try something else. So, I mean, I think you lost a lot of talent too, but yeah, all that resonates with me. I think it goes back to what we were saying about like Louisville mindset a little bit too, because like in any city, there's going to be restaurants where you walk in and you're wowed, and there's going to be ones where it's like,
exactly,
do they like me sitting in this building? And like Louisville maybe just tends to like err on the side of pessimism a little bit, and it's like, I don't know, you get caught up in that, but I think we're strongly headed in a great direction. It's interesting. We just had friends in from New York, and a couple, and she's a chef in New York, and she was like blown away with our food and beverage scene. Like she was like, "This is amazing."
Where'd you take her?
We went to North of Bourbon, another Lawrence restaurant, and then we just kind of bounced around Nulu, and they really liked that. We did some stuff in the Highlands. We went to Darlings. They wanted to see some of our spots, and I won't name a whole bunch of names. We went in a ton of places, and like they were overwhelmingly impressed. And I mean, I think that's good. That was
coming from a city like New York, where you literally have everything you could ever want at your fingertips.
Yeah. And like you got to remember too, like when you're talking about I won't say bad ones, but like the ones where you're not quite as impressed, like you think about New York and you're like, oh, all these Michelin stuff. Like you're like, oh, it's the best, but also probably the bad ones are way worse than the bad ones here. Like no one can be meaner to you than the wrong person in a New York restaurant. So like, I think we're just the same as everybody else. It's just maybe like a mindset thing of how Louisvillians perceive ourselves. Like if we were a little more optimistic, and I'm not immune to it either. I'm the same as I grew up here. I'm the same. But like if we were more optimistic about the state of downtown, state of the Highlands, state of New, like let's be positive and
let's have some hope.
Yeah,
right?
let's look at all the good stuff we're doing.
Bring some energy. Let's have creative conversations. Let's just try to change our frame of mind. I'm guilty of this too. Yeah. Right? It's like you meet with stakeholders every week, and it's like, fuck, I've spent $800,000 in 5 years trying to get this project off the ground. Like, come on. Like, I'm spending $250 million. Like, I'm trying to do something good here. Yeah. You know? And so you get kind of tainted by that a little bit. On the flip side, on the bigger development scale, what is something that's on the docket today that you think is kind of super important for the city, be it One Park or Poe Company's tower downtown, the 1,000-room hotel, or, you know, the stadium district? What do you think is kind of a big puzzle piece that you'd like to see come together?
Can I do two?
Yeah, as many as you want.
Okay. I'll save the one I've thought about the most for the second, from living in Butchertown, but we just moved back to the Highlands, and again, that's home to me. It's where I grew up. The Mid-City Mall thing, I think, is huge. I love the Highlands. My dad did a ton of work in the Highlands. He beat into my head like the Highlands, is specifically Bardstown Road, is always going to go up and down. That's just the way it is. I think any street or corridor like that is going to do that. So like, you know, people, same thing we've been talking about, get a little down about it, and then they get up and down, whatever. But like, I think Bardstown Road has had some issues. It's been down. The mindset is a little low, but coming up. And then, you know, it's kind of been rocking back and forth. Yeah. But it would be amazing to get like a well done major development on the Mid-City Mall site that the neighborhood could get behind, have a lot of pride in, things that are useful, like that the residents are really gonna want to walk up there and use and make it feel pedestrian and fresh again. Like, I think that is so crucial right now. Like and it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take a minute. But if we could get an announcement on that site that felt good, that everyone was excited about, I think it would go a long way.
Yeah. On a macro level, what do you envision there? I know pedestrian friendly, walkable. You've got a massive parking lot. I don't know what the footprint of the mall. What's it? It's probably 100,000.
I don't know what it is, but from
80?
everything I've heard, and it's above my pay grade, but you'd have to kind of expand and use a bit of that parking lot footprint to make the numbers work on a new development there, which is fine. Make it bigger. Some sort of grocery store there would be great.
So large scale mixed use development, grocery anchored, like kind of like an urban grocery store.
Yeah, probably
some retail spanning off of that.
Yeah, some out parcel stuff, retail, probably some living space. Hopefully the movie theater would stay. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a big grocery store guy. I guess people have moved on from that. I don't understand that, but I think downtown
we need it here
badly.
We need one, and I don't know. I've heard that a specific operator who has quite a few holdings in the area had been working on that, like grocery store, and the feedback that he's gotten is like, you don't have the demographics.
I think that's right. I mean, I know what you're talking about, and I have put a lot of time into trying to figure that. I think that is correct. Like the data is not strong enough to lure one in, but it's like
a Publix or an urban Walmart or a Kroger or
I mean, not to like sound bougie or whatever, but you put a Whole Foods in at the base of Nulu, it's a city changer. I mean, like that would be a big deal. And we lived there for 8 years and either drove out to the grocery store in St. Matthews or went to Brownsboro Road Kroger, and like that wasn't fun. I would have loved to have been able to walk to a grocery. And some of these younger people that are moving into the apartment buildings or whatever, some of them probably don't even have cars. Like I don't know what they're doing. And I guess there is a mentality of like, well, everyone just orders their groceries or whatever. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it would be majorly beneficial to the Nulu area, Butchertown, Nulu, to have some sort of grocery. But the second one I was getting to in that realm, it's not a specific site, but the connection, it's the soccer district partially, but it's that connection from Nulu to Butchertown, because Butchertown is amazing and growing. The soccer stadium, whatever that district around it looks like, all the way down to the botanical garden. I mean, that area, and then Butchertown is an amazing neighborhood because it connects Nulu, our quote unquote entertainment district, to the waterfront, to the botanical garden, to the soccer stadium. I mean, it is kind of this beautifully positioned historic neighborhood. I don't want to get into Swift.
That's funny because that's where I was going.
Okay, well, we can talk about that. But I think it is so bizarre. We lived on Franklin Street, which is kind of right there, at the base of Main as it turns into Story, where we're sitting right now. And like the fact that people are not walking from Nulu to Butchertown back and forth all day down to the waterfront is crazy to me. I mean, it's like a 2-minute walk, and it's just not happening. And High Horse we put it where it was originally on Story Avenue with the goal of trying to connect. We were like, we're right here. You can see the sign, this big ass sign that we put up. You can see it from the base of Main Street. Almost no one walked from Nulu to High Horse, Nulu to Whirling Tiger, Nulu to Lupo. God, no one's doing that, but they should. I mean,
you've got that drag. Well, Swift is a big piece, JBS.
It's a big piece.
It's a huge piece. But then if you look at like, why is Market Street thriving, but Main is not? Is it because it's a one-way and people are like flying at 50 miles an hour headed to wherever they're going, right, in that direction, and they're not coming home this way? Like after work, nobody's coming down Main and Story, right? But now Model Jus is bringing online Marketplace Phase 2.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You've got, Main and Clay, Martin on Main, but why is it kind of like a dead zone, right? Until you kind of get to like Whiskey Row
I think that's changing because I think it's just lack of businesses. There hasn't been a lot on Main. It's been a lot of apartment buildings, but like as Gravely comes online, NAMI obviously there, if they can tenant the rest of that building, you know, I think Main is coming along with all the, if Main, Market, and Jefferson are all rocking, then the side streets start to fill in. I mean, right there where Clayton and Crum is, I mean, you can see the side streets. That if you can connect that whole grid, I think that's amazing. But I would still bet that if Main Street gets activated and becomes super popular, still no one's walking around that corner where all Andy's buildings are. And now, you know, now JC from Meriwether has a phenomenal bar right there. Like Andy's done a great job getting that going, and 1020, it's all right there, but like no one's
like after like Tartan House. Yeah. It dies, right?
Well, yeah, it becomes
it's all
Charlie's property, and it's all industrial.
And man, Charlie's property, redevelopment,
it's
like
the key.
infill.
It's the key to connecting.
How many people do you think? Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's the key. It is the key.
It's the key.
How many? I mean, there's probably a ton of people that are, you know, and I mean, Edinger's been around for that business. I mean, they were doing horse and buggy.
For sure.
Right? Like
I mean, he's
in the 1900s.
He knows what he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to him. I know him. Yes, lots of people are interested.
I mean, would love to, like, yes, it is the key. And then Swift, right? Which is a heavy lift. We're talking a multi-billion-dollar global conglomerate. Which is JBS. It's.
I mean, right. I think they're Brazilian. I'm not.
Something we're working on.
That's a whole other like episode. But
yes, it is.
When we moved to Butchertown and started High Horse, many people that I respected were like, "Be good to Swift. You need to be their friend. It's better than whatever." And we did, and didn't get a lot out of it.
It's the last meat processing plant in a metropolitan area in the United States of America.
In the whole country.
And like that says something about the city of Louisville.
It does to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's extremely complicated, and I don't want to get
we won't get
murdered for bashing Swift or whatever kind of big league stuff that is. But like, I think we just need to figure out a way to, strategically and peacefully
roll out the red carpet and put it on a silver platter is the way.
If you want it all to really go at its full potential, I mean, I do you live in Butchertown? You work
live downtown.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, I still love Butchertown. But it does smell like it, and it's not all the time, but like it does. It's a bummer that people are leaving soccer games to walk over to the old High Horse or to walk to 1020, and like they're coming in from what you said, St. Matthews and East, and they're like, God, it smells. You know, it's an issue. Yep. And now I don't know what changed or what about it. But like you can smell it at Barvetti sometimes. You know, like it's getting into like these iconic businesses that are in Nulu that it shouldn't be. Like I think if we're going to put all this money, put all the money into the stadium, and we're going to put all this money into the soccer district, Nulu's banging, we're trying to bring up Butchertown and like all this stuff. It's like, well,
let's do it right.
Like how are we going to do it? Just like, we're not even going to consider a plan to like try to, do a friendly relocation or whatever. I don't want to take too strong of a position because I know it is very complicated and there's a lot.
It's a massive lift.
There's a lot of things there, but it does seem like it's probably not a good fit for the area anymore.
Today and where we're headed. And to your point, it's like Butchertown bleeds into Nulu. How do we reactivate downtown? Well, let's build on what has the energy and let's flow that into downtown. And in 20 years, truthfully, like shout out Gil Holland, I could see Portland really being something. As soon as you cross under 9th Street, you got that industrial canvas. I mean, that could be a funky arts entertainment district in and of itself.
No doubt about it. The new kids playground is amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been, but
it's great. Yeah, agree with everything you said. And like, that's the deal. Like all these people, like when we were living down here, and I want to back up just a little bit. Like I did not form that opinion overnight. Like I definitely did not go like Swift needs to go. Like I spent 8 years living there, making, really thinking about it, because I know it is a hot topic, and it just, it's not something I'm like blasting on your podcast. Like
it's something we're passionate about and we truly believe in. And we'll talk about that offline, but
for sure. But yes, like all these, we were again living down here, watching all these tourists, bourbon groups, whatever, come in, stay in Airbnbs down here. Like, think about when you go to another city and it's like, okay, here's the prominent district or whatever. And then it's exciting to like go off the beaten path a little bit and find the gems, and like why we're not like putting a big, beautiful pedestrian walkway that goes from Nulu through Butchertown into the waterfront, like
it's the same. Why did we build 64 on our waterfront? Right.
Sure.
Neither here nor there.
Yes.
And we don't, we've
like got a swift topic.
We've got about 8 more minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But just to put a bow on that, I mean, I think a lot of people, I've heard a lot of bourbon people say like, bourbon is what brings the people to town, and the hospitality scene, hotels, food, beverage is what keeps them coming back. So like if Nulu and downtown and the Bourbon Trail and all this stuff is getting all these people here, which it is, thank God, like, but we need to be a little bit better about pushing them into these other places and seeing like all that Louisville has to offer. So they're going home and going like, oh yeah, like great time on the Bourbon Trail, but like that city's awesome.
And we've got more to explore.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell our friends and bring 2 of them with us when we come back.
Yeah.
And then each one teach one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yep.
So let's talk about if you were going to do it again, just you're out of music, you're stepping into real estate, primarily redevelopment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done any ground up stuff.
No.
Okay.
All redevelopment.
What are like 3 of your key, let's call them rules of thumb? I was trying to think of something cooler. I couldn't. But like 3 just big things that you look at and it's like, all right, like I believe in this project, or nah, it's not going to work. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Did I ask that the right way?
Kind of. Yeah, I think so. I think a big one, which like has kind of become like my holy grail, or you can't always do it, but like when I got thrown into the deep end, I was a little bit more of like fill space. Like if we had a vacancy, I was like, what can we need to get it filled so we can get our finances correct and all that stuff and float these businesses. And now I am better at not panicking so much, or even being more proactive about trying to curate buildings. Like I think it is so important for Louisville to strategically tenant spaces in a way that elevates the neighborhood, fits the neighborhood and all that stuff, as opposed to like, I mean, it's kind of, putting strategy before profit a little bit, but that's not always the case. It's not always possible. And I totally understand all the sides of it. But if building owners were more hands-on and thinking about the right thing to put in buildings,
let's think on a 10, 20 year timeline versus, like mortgage payments due, like operating expenses, like, my balance sheet. Yeah.
And it will work out, in my opinion, better that way. Anyway, you might lose a couple months, but if you're just throwing in whatever, it's probably going to turn over again and whatever, I think just like
putting a Band-Aid on it or trying to plug a hole versus fixing it.
That's one. I don't know. I don't know. What's one that you think is a good Louisville staple rule of thumb? Like, what do you see? To me, that's the only one that comes to mind.
I haven't built anything yet.
Yeah, but like you're getting into it. Like, what's your kind of holy grail of development? Do you think that you'd like to see, because you are about to start?
Yeah, I think. I mean, math is always important.
Yeah,
right.
It has to be there.
Yeah, that's like, and beautiful thing about having an incredible team is we all sharpen the sword together, right? Iron sharpens iron, and so I'm probably a little bit more conservative in looking at like downside and like thinking about everything that can go wrong.
Yeah, me too.
And then like they may be a little more like high level and like, but together we can kind of mend and find that balance. To me, I think like math is a huge piece, but also location, like, and then trying to think about like those missing spaces, like what have I experienced in other cities that I think would thrive here, and obviously I need an operator. That's the tough part. But I don't think I'm not qualified to really say, hey, like this is my rule of thumb, because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, so one thing that I think you said that is interesting, you know, everything is right. Get the math right. Find the right location. Got to have the operator.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I have found is helpful is before you're starting to find the operator first, you know, well, find the building first, and then what could be great here, and then start going through the operators that are serious and available, and reach out to them. And they might not be interested, but they might know someone who is. And like, then you're not put in a position of panic. Like we're carrying the cost on this building. We don't have anyone. It's like, put the deal together on the front end a little bit, and everyone can win
exactly
a little more easily, if that makes sense.
100%. No, we've got a partnership deal right now that we're entitled, we're zoned, we're fully approved to build 22,000 square feet of flex space in Old Louisville on 1.6 acres. And we're like, we got there, we're about to go to the bank and get financing. Our partner is incredible, strong balance sheet. And we realized when we got there, it's like, oh shit, like we should have went about this the other way. Like, let's find some tenants first and then put the building up. Because I just don't think this is the right market to build spec in, unless this product is like in an industrial park or east, like, you know, but specific to like Old Louisville, we're not confident spending, you know, $2.5 million and saying, hey, yeah, we're confident we'll get the space filled at $12 a square foot today. Yeah. So to your point, it's like that's what we learned. We're still going to do it. We're still going to move forward. But now the focus is like, let's find some tenants and get some commitments before we put the building up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting. I mean, it's a good thing to always come back. I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to get lost in the math and all the administrative side and strategy side. But at the end of the day, real estate is just an operator in a building that hopefully is serving the neighborhood. So it's like good to always remember, like that's the end goal. And that's what the city is going to see is who is the operator, the tenant, and what service do they provide me, and everything else you got to work on the back end. But no, it's not really what real estate is. I mean, real estate is the business.
It's simple. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Well, man, we'll have to do this again. I feel like we have room for a part 2.
Sure.
So we'll regroup in a few months. But I thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Love your space. Thanks again.
Thank you, brother.
All right.